Hey y'all, I'm James Wright and welcome to my shop. Today I want to talk about old tools. Where do you go to find antique tools? Because you can get some amazing deals out there if you just know where to look. Now, those of you who have been following the channel for a while will know that I have a couple videos on this particular topic, and that's because there are new things that pop up from time to time, and things that I find or things that people show me that, hey, this is a good resource. So today I want to go through and look at where I've found a lot of my tools and where I am going and looking for tools right now. Probably around 60% of all the tools I own and use come from the MWTCA, the Midwest Tool Collectors Association, or one of the other groups quite like it. And there are several dozen tool collector groups out there. And I'll be talking about where to find them in a little while here. But the post drill here, that was one of them that I got there. About half of my hand planes came from there, a good pile of my saws, almost all of my spoke shaves, a lot of the braces ended up coming from there. This is just one of those great places. If you imagine a basketball court completely covered in tables, and all those tables completely covered in hand tools for sale, that's what the MWTCA or tool collecting meets look like. It is the best place to find hand tools. Unfortunately, in the world of COVID, there haven't been many meets, so they're pretty hard to come by. So I'm going to be looking at a few online places that I have recently found. The first place most people naturally think about where to find hand tools online is eBay. And eBay can be a pretty good resource, and it can be a really bad resource. Generally, the prices on eBay are going to be much higher than you can find anywhere else. But if you're willing to put in the time and search for things, occasionally you'll come across good deals. This is actually one of the first things I ever purchased on eBay. It was a weird broken down 192 that someone had modified, but it worked well for what I needed and I got it for a pretty decent price. Nowadays I mostly use eBay when looking for parts. This Stanley number 1 is one that I'm fixing up for a friend, and it needed the knob on the front. I was able to find a replacement knob on eBay and it comes out pretty well, so I'm looking forward to restoring this sometime soon. However, eBay is rarely the place I go to look for hand tools. There are a pile of online sellers, and many of them are reputable and many of them aren't. They'll put up tools and not tell you about defects and problems with it, but there are a bunch of sources that are very good and very reputable, and when you find a tool on there, you know they're going to be listing the problems, they're going to tell you about it. And I have a website where I actually have a catalog of all the online sellers that I know of and I trust. So I'll be talking about that in a little bit, but there are places where you can go online. In the past, I tell people the number one place I go to when I'm looking online is Craigslist. However, after the last couple years, Craigslist is becoming less and less of a source. I just don't find as much on there. I still have searches on Craigslist, but I don't use it that much. Now, one of the biggest sources for me is Facebook Marketplace. Just yesterday, I bought this for 10 bucks on Facebook Marketplace, and the handle is in pristine condition. The blade is really, really good. The only problem with it is it's missing one tooth way down there. That's really not that big a deal. The only other issue is that, well, it was painted. So we're gonna be doing a restoration video on this sometime and removing the paint and putting this thing back into use. I also got this Stanley Liberty Bell on a Craigslist not too long ago for 20 bucks. This is a great user plane. Is it the best in the world? No. Are there a lot of little features on here that, yeah, other planes are better, but this one would treat you well. And if you're getting into it, 20 bucks for a good user plane, that's not a bad way to go. So Facebook Marketplace, I always have searches on there looking for hand tools. And I'll be talking about specific searches I do in a little bit here. And if you're actually interested in owning this Liberty Bell, I'm going to be selling this weekend on one of my other new all-time favorite places. But for that, let's go over to the computer and take a look at that. So, here we are over at the computer, and this is one of my new favorite sites, and I will leave a link to all of these down in the description below. But this is the Can I Have It Vintage Tool Auction Group. And this is just absolutely mind-blowing how it is. These are people who have hand tools selling to people who have hand tools. It is an auction that happens every weekend. So on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the auction starts, and there are all of these tools that suddenly come out. And in between, there are a lot of other interesting things that happen on here because right now we're in between. So there's Teaser Tuesdays, there's Throwdown Thursdays, and there is Wishlist Wednesdays. But Friday through Sunday, this group is just an auction. That is all that happens on here. People post up the tools they want, and they can say this is available anywhere in the world, or just in the US, or just in Europe, or wherever they are. And then they put a starting bid on it and people start bidding for it. Now, usually the prices on here are fair. They go for about what the tool is worth. You're not going to see incredibly outrageous prices on here. You're not going to see great prices on here. It is going to be rather fair prices. And I put up something on here every week. There's one thing will be going up there. This week it's going to be that Liberty Bell hand plane. So if you're interested in that, jump on this group. And it is a fantastic group and is growing very, 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 very quickly. So this is currently my #1 place for buying hand tools. I am on here all the time and putting up regular things. So then during the week, in between Sunday and the next Friday, people put things in here just for sale. So in this block of beeswax, $10. And so if there's something particular you just want to sell, you can put it on here. This last weekend, all of the auctions were for charity. So we were able to raise $13,000 for the Wounded Waters charity, which is really cool. Here is a look at some of the tools that are currently for sale or in the last auction. If you're looking for just the parts or you want the whole kit, you're probably going to find them on here. And if there's something particular you're looking for, on Wishlist Wednesday, you hop on there and you put in something that you are looking for. And if there's someone out there who has it, then they'll be like, oh, someone else is looking for it. Maybe I'll sell it this weekend. So this is the Can I Have It auction group. Absolutely in love with this. I am on here all the time. So I can't say enough about that. Let me go over to my main resource. So this is the Handtoolfinder.com. It's on my website, but this is dedicated to all resources that I know of where you can find hand tools. #1, at the very top here, there is a map of all the locations I have found. This map is worldwide. So, look down here in Brazil. I really don't know of that many places because they're just hard to find. So Sao Paulo, sorry, there's only like 2 or 3 places in all of South America. But you come up here into Europe, and there's a few places. France, I haven't found much. Italy, I haven't found much. So if you find anything, I really want to fill out this map. I would love to add more locations here. Come over to the U.S., and you can see, particularly, like if you're around Philadelphia, it is loaded with places to buy hand tools. And the Midwest has a lot of pins because, well, this is where I'm at. I'm in Rockford, so I know this area and have been to most of these places. They are all color-coded, so red is a retool. They sell tools, again, a lot of power tools, a lot of hand tools, different things. Blue, these are the special ones. Blue are specialty stores. These are stores that only sell antique hand tools, and they are incredible. And you look out here in the Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts area, there are a lot of those. So yes, that's those. If you come across a blue one, go to it. Then next we have purple ones, and these are antique stores that have been known to sell hand tools. They will have a booth that is dedicated to hand tools, or it's a place where a lot of hand tools are normally found. Then last we have these Teal locations, and the Teal locations are group sales. So the MWTCA meets, things like that are a collector's group, you will find these Teal ones where they have been held or where they're going to be held. So if you're traveling and you're looking for something in your area, then take a look at this map and see if you can find something near where you're going, and you might be able to find some interesting places to buy hand tools. Let's go back over to handtoolfinder.com. The next thing down the list is all of the online sellers that I know and trust. These are people that I've talked to, people I've purchased from, and websites that dedicate to hand tools. If I'm ever looking for a hard to find part, usually I'm going to go down this list and I'm going to email a bunch of them and say, hey guys, I'm looking for this part, does anyone have it? And either they're going to have it or they're going to say, no, but Joe Schmo has it, you should go talk to him. So this is a fantastic resource. All of these people are people who are dedicated to hand tools, and if they can't help you, they will tell you someone who can help you. Fantastic resource. Down below that, we have tool collecting organizations. So these are collectors groups. The biggest one by far is the Midwest Tool Collectors Association. I know it says Midwest, but it's really across the United States. There's the Pacific Northwest Tool Collectors, the Rocky Mountain, Past Tool Collectors, that's California, Western New York Antique Tool Collectors, and the list goes down. There are a few other ones like the Long Island Tool Collectors. Most of these groups are in the U.S., but there's one in here for Canada, there's one here for Australia, there's one in here for Europe. So if you find a local group, these will be great people you can get in contact with. Then let's go down a little farther and we have hand tool auctions. These are auction groups or regular auctions that sell hand tools. They are in place, so you have to go there to the auction. But these are fantastic resources when you're looking for things. They're usually collectors who are selling off all their tools. Brown Auctions specifically, you get on their mailing list and they will mail you whenever they have an auction coming up. So if you like auctions, here's some good resources for you. And then last down here, we have buy-sell trade groups. And number one, the top one is the Can I Have It Tool Sales group. Yeah, they are my all-time favorite. But there's also the Facebook Unplugged Woodworkers, Hand Plane Restoration. And these are people who may not be about selling particularly, but it's great information. So if you're ever looking for something particular, like if you're looking for something to do with saws, then go to the Handsaw Using, Collecting, and Restoring group. The Saw Filers group. There are people on there who spend their entire life dedicated to handsaws, and they will treat you really, really well. So this is everything I know of where to buy hand tools. If there's something that's not on this list, please tell me. I would love to add to it, particularly on the map. If there aren't any places in your area, but you know of something, please let me know. I want to put more pins on here. And come back here occasionally because this is regularly getting updated. So when searching on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, there are 3 different ways you can do it. Number one, you can go on there and you can search for hand planes, and you'll see all the posts for hand planes. And then tomorrow you can go on there and search for hand planes, and you'll see all the posts for hand planes. And that works really well, but it's fairly time consuming. What you can do is you can actually set up a search that will automatically search for you, and then will notify you when a new post with hand planes pops up. And that is usually what I do. And I have several searches for that. I have hand planes, I have handsaw, I have grandpa's tools or grandpa's. I often find that someone passed away and they're trying to sell off grandpa's tools. I've gotten quite a few good deals from that one because people have no idea what they have. They just have grandpa's tools and they need some money. And then number 3, and one that I've used quite a few times, is I'll actually put up a listing on there saying, I buy hand tools. I buy old, rusty hand tools. And then I will get people contacting me like, you know, I've always thought about it. I have a pile of hand tools down here I'm never going to use. Would you like to come look through them? And I've gotten quite a few good tools from that. I got my 4.5. I got my first spoke shave from a post on Craigslist saying I buy hand tools. So that might be a good way to find things in your local area by having people find you. Finding hand tools can be a bit of a chore. It's becoming easier than it used to be because there are more people out there looking for them, more people hunting through the old barns and garages, trying to bring these things out into the light. But that means that the prices are also going up because it's becoming a little bit easier to find. There are hundreds of resources out there, and just knowing where to look can often bring you exactly what you're looking for. You're just going to understand you're probably going to pay a little bit more than you used to. Every now and then you come across this cache of tools in someone's old barn and they're just cleaning it out because grandpa passed away. That's where this beam drill that I'm currently restoring came from. The guy had it in his garage, didn't want it anymore, he sold it for me for 20 bucks. Keep your eyes open for those stashes. They don't come along very often, maybe once a year, if that for me, but when they do, they're well worth it. But when you're waiting in between those, there are lots of other resources. When you're looking for that particular tool, you can go get that particular tool and just have it right now and not have to spend as much time actually going to all the garage sales and estate sales. It used to be that I spent every weekend going out garage sales and estate sales, and that's where I got a good chunk of my tools, and I got them for a good price. And you can still do that. And in some places you go to flea markets. Around here it's estate sales, and different areas are going to have different things where people get rid of junk. You will occasionally find good deals at those, but they're becoming less and less of a thing. And now I rarely go out on weekends for estate sales and garage sales. I spend most of my time online buying what I need there. So it's kind of one of those things, if you want to spend the time, you'll save money, or you can save time and spend a little extra money. I hope this answered a few questions for you and brought to light maybe a new source for finding tools. I would love to hear that. If you found something new, let me know that down below. Also, if you know of a source that's not on handtoolfinder.com, please let me know that down below. I want to add to that, and I'm constantly updating it with new sources, taking out old ones, updating the map. So if you find something that should go on the map that's not there, please let me know. I will put it on there. I'm always updating it. Usually at least once a week I'll put something new on there and take something off. So it's a constantly growing thing. So what has been your best find? What is something that you found that's like, wow, I can't believe I got this? Those deals are out there. They're just getting harder and harder to find. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. And also I want to say a huge thank you to the patrons on Patreon, people who are supporting the channel. I really have to say we cannot be here without you. Patrons, people who've clicked that join button are making this run. So if you do ever meet anyone who's scrolling over on the side, make sure to tell them thank you, because quite literally, they're the ones keeping the lights on. So I think that'll about do it for today. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Who would do such a thing? This is not right. I should know because I am right. By blood. I tell my wife that all the time. And then she says my middle name is A. So that means always. Oh, let's not get down that rabbit hole.